Well, reports out of Burkina Faso now is that the new self-declared military leader has sought refuge at a French army base, saying the ousted President Damiba is planning a counteroffensive. Zimbabwe has been experiencing daily 18-hour power outages for the past few weeks. The country heavily relies on its only hydropower plant, the Kariba power station, which was built in the early 1960s. It is the biggest power generation plant in the country, with a total generation capacity of 1,050 megawatts. But it has only been producing an average of 800 megawatts due to old equipment. Government authorities say they are considering long-term options in a bid to find a lasting solution to the energy crisis.
Zimbabwe is reeling under crippling power shortages, with 18-hour-long load-shedding periods being a constant occurrence in most areas. Aging equipment and frequent breakdowns led to nationwide blackouts that destabilized the national power grid on Tuesday.
The situation was exaggerated on the 27th when we had a system fault which took the whole system out for an incident which lasted about 4.5 hours. Within that period, an event which had been initiated by a bushfire induced on the Alaska Warren line number 2, which took out the line, and consequently a number of other lines were lost, including the imports.
In the past, Zimbabwe would rely on power imports from its neighbors to meet its shortfalls, but the neighbors are currently also facing drastic power cuts in their own countries and constraining the imports options. A delegation from Africa 50, the development arm of the African Development Bank, visited Zimbabwe to explore ways to end the power crisis.
Power is foundational to any economy if we're looking to industrialize. Across the continent as a whole, there's a significant deficit of power. We're also seeing with climate change the impact that certain fossil fuels are having on our economies. So renewable energy, and that includes solar and hydropower. We're keen to exploit gas-to-power projects on the continent as a whole.
Africa 50 was established by the African governments and the African Development Bank to help bridge Africa's infrastructure funding gap by facilitating project development, mobilizing public and private sector finance, and investing in infrastructure on the continent. Khumalo, SABC News.